there's really only two places to start on this wonderful Sunday morning, ladies and gents. One is with
Beautiful Halloween morning, Sunday morning.
beautiful Halloween morning. Is today Halloween on paper? Is it?
It is. It is.
We normally don't tell people when we record, but today's a special occasion, so we can. And for our YouTube listeners, let's just say we're all in costume right now. Actually, comment what you think we are. But
Your good old hoodlum.
We're gonna go through some of the top Halloween costumes this year, yes, but I want to start with Future, who may have made my weekend with this one. So I'm trying to remember what the context for this tweet is. I think someone tweeted, they were like, Will Smith needs to hang out with Future. Just, if you don't know, Jada Smith again sort of thrusted their marriage into the spotlight. She did a red table talk with Gwyneth Paltrow and talked about like their sex life. I don't know the details, but apparently people were making it sound like she found Will. I don't think she did, but that's what the streets were saying. So everyone was saying, he needs to be more toxic. He needs to hang out with Future. And Future goes out and tweets, I'd rather hang with Jada.
He didn't just tweet it. He put it on his Instagram story. Like he made it known.
I feel like the Instagram story one is easier because the Instagram story they posted what the original thing was. But this is just This is so mean. This is like poor Will Smith.
Really funny.
This is so.
The most accurate thing I've seen is a tweet that said like that J. Cole lyric about that Jada and that Will loves. It just sounds like a threat.
I know.
It really does.
I do think it's insane how in like the span of 6 years, or like honestly like 6 or 7 years, that went from like being the model for like Black love to
how about like 2 years? Because remember 2 years with the August Alsina thing that happened, and ever since then it went down. Because remember, that was last year. I thought it was serious. I remember when that happened. It was like, where were you? Like, did you listen to that? Like, where were you when you first heard the news when that came out? Remember that? That was insane.
Someone said like Will Smith needs to go on like Wild and Out, but then everyone was like, he just get destroyed.
No, he
DJ
can't.
D-Rat cut the beat, and then everyone in the comments was like writing raps for it.
The thing is this: Will Smith in the '90s could have done that, like when he was working out, like in terms of comedy and like rapping and all that. But now Will Smith, where he's like on his acting stuff, and he's too mainstream for that now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
He can't do it now. He can't hang now.
So if you needed a reminder that Future is toxic, that's that one. But speaking of,
he belongs to the streets.
Scary, maybe. I don't know. We're also let's go through some of the top Halloween costumes this year. That's a fun intro. Just some of the few that I noticed that I want to shout out. Chloe Bailey kind of killed it as that fish from Shark Tale.
Yeah, she did.
Not a lot of people remember that movie. That's an animated classic right there, and she got to kill that.
I had a crush on that fish. I'm not gonna lie. Jack Harlow said it. I had a crush on that fish.
I had a crush on Little Mermaid. So we've all been there. We had crushes on fish.
Yeah. Yeah, but Little Mermaid was actually like part human, like.
Yeah, but it was
for sure.
But then Sweetie kind of killed it as a Catwoman, and she did the Holly Berry like clip, a feature with Holly Berry. I like it. This is a scene from the movie they're kind of recreating.
Yeah, for sure. She killed it.
Like the Stallion's costume was insane.
Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion went all the way.
Like sexy Hellraiser, basically.
The funny thing about this costume, and I just have to share, is I didn't recognize this character.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't. And she posted this like earlier this week, so it wasn't like Halloween weekend yet. And I remember Avery, wasn't it last weekend or so? She posted.
Yeah,
it
I showed Nnamdi. I was like, oh wow, look at this. And then
I was like, what is she doing?
Freaked out.
I
did not know who that character was.
I was like, is this for a video? Like, is this a single cover? Like, what are we doing, Meg?
He's going super goth.
Like, what a turn. Oh, I know people was talking about good news, but I didn't think he was going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Lizzo was Yoda. Baby Yoda.
Lizzo was Yoda, yeah. All of our YouTube listeners are getting a treat right now. Audio listeners, just close your eyes and imagine Lizzo as Yoda.
Jamie Lee Curtis went as herself.
Well, no, she went as her mom.
Oh, her mom.
Who was like Marion Crane. And
the most used costume this year is obviously Squid Game.
Which was kind of like tired. Like that was kind of easy.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired now.
Everyone kind of did that, Oh, Sierra went as Selena. Someone always is Selena every year, though.
Yeah, every year.
Which is good, like fine. It's fine, but it's like
It's like creative. Come on, creativity.
Okay, so that's fun. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we did a little bit of that. Oh, shout out to Tamron Hall when it's Cardi B too. She's pregnant. She did the Cardi B pregnant look thing. That worked. So that was cool. But with that being said, welcome to this, I guess, Halloween edition of the 97 Demo Podcast, where we give you the latest in music news, a whole bunch along the way. I hope you all missed us last week. You know, even your podcast faves have to take, you know, their self-care breaks every once in a while. But we are back with a good episode here for the laughs. I'm one of your three hosts, Nnamdi Egwanwu, joined by
Noah McGee
and Avery.
Galal.
See,
Avery, you gonna keep playing, bro.
Let's get into some of these headlines. So I saw this in the New York Times and I thought it was fascinating because we always talk about how vinyls are, you know, sort of going crazy. Avery, you don't got no New York Times subscription in 2021?
Look, you guys made me go over to Google Chrome. I have none of my passwords in here.
This young guy needs to grow up right now.
Oh my gosh.
Continue, Nnamdi. Continue, Nnamdi.
Wait, can you slide in on your other one? You
oh gosh,
Safari? Okay. Can you do something? I know the story, but dang, Avery, I can't read a quote. No,
just, talk. No one watches the YouTube. Just talk.
Avery, at least 4 people watch the YouTube. Sorry, it's not funny.
At most 4.
The story basically is, as we've been talking about a lot on this pod, vinyls are like the most popular physical format, which I think is so funny because it just shows how, you know, things come and go. In the 80s, it was all about vinyls and CDs became a thing. Now it's back to vinyls and CDs are practically non-existent. But the thing is, because of their massive popularity in such like sort of a relatively short amount of time, manufacturing them is apparently becoming a bigger challenge. And we've sort of seen this because we know there have been some albums like James Blake, for instance, who said he had to delay his album because the vinyls weren't, you know, going to be ready in time. I think Lana Del Rey recently had something similar where Blue Bannister vinyls weren't ready by the time the album was released. And it's a fascinating sort of look into like how like the industry may struggle to keep up with demand on a product that it's literally has had since like, you know, for like 50 years now, like 50, 60 years.
Yeah, it's weird because now like the fact they're becoming popular, but like the last couple of years, like shops have been going like, you know, having to close down and stuff like that all over the country. Like the industry was somewhat dying not 5 years ago, and now it's all of a sudden this big, you know, demand for it. And now, you know, these places and companies are having a hard time to keep up with it because people are loving it now. And I blame Taylor Swift. You know, obviously she's like the forefront of this, but yeah, so it's interesting.
Well, it's like
you're part of it too. You got your record.
Exactly.
Well, there's like, you know, there's multiple utilities for it now, right? It's not just people wanting to listen to it for music. It's people wanting it for decoration and for like an old school like aesthetic.
I know. So, just listen to some of these numbers though. In the first 6 months of this year, 17 million vinyl records were sold in the US, generating $467 million worth of revenue. That's sort of insane. That is double the amount from 2020. So under the pandemic, maybe people really value their vinyl records, let me tell you. And it's just crazy because CDs just aren't, you know, traditional CDs only sold 16 million in the first half of 2021. So just you're seeing vinyls are getting bought more, they're more expensive, so it's a bigger industry. Like I'm kind of standing it. But, you know, of course, it is just still a physical format, and physical format makes up like a sliver of music sales. Streaming is king, but it's cool to see that this little physical thing is like staying alive. Because I don't want to trust all my music to the clouds. Look, the next thing you know, something happens to one of these artists you like. Now that album's gone. Now what do you listen to?
That's what scares me too. That's why I still got some of these albums downloaded illegally. Don't come for me, but yeah.
We're actually going to be getting more into vinyls later in the show because one rapper we all like kind of killed it recently with vinyl sales. So we'll talk about that soon. I didn't know this story, and that's felt the need since we were off for 2 weeks, and I didn't feel like talking about Boosie and Lil Nas X's drama to talk about this instead.
I agree.
Apparently, Balvin, reggaeton star, had a song called Pera, which if you speak Spanish, you know what that means. And in this video, he apparently had images of him walking women like they were dogs, and the women were black. He had like the black woman sort of like wearing prosthetics, they look like dogs, and he's walking them. I don't know who directed this video, but any video that has a white man, because, you know, ethnicity and race are two different things, a white man walking two black women as dogs, come on. Do you ever see some of these stories and you're like, how are we still here? Like, how have we not? I get that the excuse can be, well, America may have evolved, maybe that hasn't extended to Latin America, but I find it hard to believe that like no one in the room was like,
bro,
this is not great. Yeah.
I mean, this is like just inexcusable now. Honestly, like there's no excuse, and this just shows like why we need people, people of color and these rooms of power. Like if somebody from the record label saw this, it was like, hey, what do you think about this music video? This got on somebody's desk. The link. I mean, they're like, oh, we're not putting this out. We gotta do something. Oh, we gotta do something. Like this just shows like the problems we continue to have in the music industry with women of color and how they're treated and portrayed in music videos. So yeah, this makes me think about. Did you ever see that that BET documentary about video vixens? I watched it a couple weeks ago. It was super.
No, I haven't watched it.
It was super interesting. It was crazy, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, this is inexcusable.
Apparently, they're defending this video because the featured artist, I think, is black, and apparently
that don't matter.
Point appears as like a black, but that doesn't help this. So let's just learn not to do this. I'm glad. The one silver lining in stories like this is I do think reminds people like, okay, we have to be considerate to how we depict women and actually think before we do things, like have them walking as dogs. Like, what are we doing? I don't even know if you could get this off in the early 2000s. Okay, well, you probably could, but you still, come on, do better, people.
You probably could, but yeah.
And the last story, AMA nominations are out, and that is what we have to chew on until Grammy nominations come out next month. So I kind of want to talk about it. I was really upset about how these nominations, shook out. So I did some reading into what the eligibility criteria looks like, which is why I chose this link specifically. Apparently, it's based on sales. So the nominees here are based on sales, and then fans vote for the winner, which I can respect it. But that is why these look the way they do, and that's why Drake is in all of these categories, despite CLB just dropping 7 weeks ago. So that's cool. Then Avery, you're going too fast for me. Maybe we can start at the top. Artists of the Year: Ariana Grande, BTS, Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, The Weeknd. All based in sales. I was upset that Billie Eilish wasn't here, but when you remember that it is sales based, that makes a little bit more sense. I wonder who's gonna win that. If it's fan voted, I would say maybe BTS. They're kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, Taylor Swift too. And
but I feel like the BTS gonna be a stand war. Crazier.
Is BTS gonna win because it's American music? You think BTS still has a chance, even though BTS is huge? I think BTS.
I wonder if anyone can vote though. That's my thing. It's like if anyone can vote.
Yeah, is it fan voting?
Yeah, I think it's fan voting. I think fans vote for.
I think BTS has a good chance because the Hive is gonna come through and murk the polls.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a stand war between Ariana, BTS, and Taylor Swift.
What about Drake? Does Drake have Avery? Who are you voting for?
Drake, of course.
If I cared enough to vote, I would vote for Olivia Rodrigo probably.
What is so crazy is literally they're doing voting. TikTok is one of the ways you can vote.
That's awesome.
That's smart.
I mean, it's smart. They're trying to keep up with the younger generation. New artists of the year. I didn't really recognize any of these. Well, a lot of these. I know them. Olivia Rodrigo's probably going to win it though. Her or Giveon, I'm assuming. Let's see, what else I want to talk about? Collaboration of the year. We have Mood, Dakiti, Go Crazy, Kiss Me More, and Peaches.
Kiss Me More, I like.
Kiss Me More has got to be it.
Yeah, but we know that oh boy, it's probably
how it goes.
Something out there.
Ooh, okay. This one, favorite trending song.
Busted. Driver's
License.
This
is for TikTok.
Sorry, Busted. A lot of people, that was a huge trend. That was everywhere.
The fact that Meg Thee Stallion and Erica Banks are nominated in the same category is kind of, Wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong. Well, at least they're two Houston queens. I like that.
Yeah.
Shout out
Erica Banks from Dallas.
Oh, is she?
Is she?
Pretty sure.
I need to stop making that mistake because these Texas folks be coming from me sometimes.
They touchy.
Y'all favorite male pop artist: Drake, Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Lil Nas X, The Weeknd. Who do you think's taking that?
Lil Nas X, just because I like him. I just like him now.
I feel like he has to win. He's killing it all right.
Okay, and then what is your favorite female call today? Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, Dua Lipa, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift.
Olivia Rodrigo's got to win again.
Dua Lipa kind of feels last year because she was nominated for everything last year. So
she didn't get her flowers for that either.
Yeah, no, great album. That album was great. So, but I'm leaning Doja, honestly. I'm leaving Doja. I'm leaning Doja. Ariana Grande feels last year too. Like everything was like last year. So.
Oh wait, y'all, listen to this. Favorite hip hop album: Certified Lover Boy, Legends Never Die, Good News, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, Soulfly. I hate. Can you believe it's just Certified Lover Boy? Just does not fit here. It just feels so weird.
But to me, it's the best one out of all those. To me,
I mean, it is, but it's almost unfair that it's on here. You know, and I'm like, why is Donda not on here? Because Donda sold what it needed to sell. You know what I mean? It's just kind of.
I am confused why Donda isn't on here
on any of these categories. That was kind of crazy.
I don't know.
Maybe he didn't submit it.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe, but that would be like if
I know he submitted it for the Grammys, but I don't know if he submitted it for this.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to see. Oh wait, Kanye is on here for favorite gospel artist in the AMA.
Oh my gosh,
so he's there.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that in our main discussion. I'm gonna get to that gospel stuff. We're gonna talk. I got a little thing to say. But
okay, so there's a ton of other categories we're not gonna get to, but we are probably gonna watch. I'm sort of into it. I think Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, they're leading for like most noms this year. Doja Cat's in that group. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I'm sure Lil Nas X is up. Oh no, he's not. Okay, so they're leading with 5. So we'll be. Oh, Olivia Rodrigo. 7 nominations. So she's probably gonna. Yeah, she's probably gonna take.
Win a few.
The Weeknd has 6. She's probably gonna. My king is gonna win some too.
Our king.
Okay, so let's go ahead and turn to our main discussion. So a couple of weeks ago, we had was this our last episode actually? Was it? No, I think 2 episodes ago, we had a really fascinating discussion about review culture and the discourse around music reviews. And what inspired that discussion was Pitchfork went through and they were like, we can't update our scores, but if we could, these are the ones we change, and here's what we change them to. And they just basically looked through some of their old reviews and picked a couple albums that they'd either put, maybe they consider making higher or lower. Some scores got a big bump, others, kind of went down a little bit. I love that concept because I do think music is very subjective and opinions change with time. And sometimes, things age well, they age poorly. So while I don't think we're going to go in and permanently change our scores, I do think it's worthwhile every once in a while thinking, does that score still, work? Am I still sticking with that? So that's what we're going to do. So we have now assembled all of our reviews since we have started this podcast, how many is this? There's like a couple.
A lot.
19,
including classics like our first ever review, Run the Jewels R2J4, which got a 97 demo 9, to our most recent Friends That Break Your Heart by James Blake, which got a 7.6. But all we're going to do here is very simple. We're going to pick a couple of these reviews that we've done, and everyone's going to talk about scores that they wish they could change if they could. So if you're watching on YouTube, you see our nice little spreadsheet of everyone's score. We came with the receipts. No one can argue. Who wants to start off the conversation?
I'll start it off.
Everyone's nervous.
Honestly,
should we list all of our reviews first? Do we need to do that? Read all 19?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's a lot. Okay. Let me. Do we want to do this? Like, we'll go. Okay, I'll start off with mine. Okay,
why don't we just each start with one? Let's each start with one.
Let's start with one. Okay, and if anybody has one that's similar, we'll all bounce off each other.
And just imagine that like every high-profile release is on this list. We're not going to list them, but just all the big ones are here. So
most of the big ones, with. But this one is not super high profile. But my first one is Spillage Village, and my original score,
the 97 demo was a 6.8.
Yes, I gave it a score of a 6.5. And looking back at that album, we were too hard on it. We were very, very too hard on it. No, okay, you're right. I was too hard on it. You're right. We were too hard on it. But I docked it a lot of points because it wasn't like I was saying like, oh, it's not a concept album. They were trying to do this concept of religion, da. I was really hard on it, and honestly, I feel like it just wasn't fair because the music was really good throughout the whole thing. Like every song's pretty good, honestly. Like there's not really like a terrible song on there. And thinking about it, like how Kanye did the gospel thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye makes gospel. Like they were doing the gospel thing on this album. They did it really well. Yeah. Like Psalm Sing is still one of my favorite songs. I love that song. I was listening to it yesterday. I love that song. So I felt like I was a little too hard on that, and I gave it a 6.5, which I just feel like wasn't fair. And they called us out too. I remember like they tweeted us like, "Hey guys, If you want to talk about it, we'll never forget that.
We're out here replying, just listen to the full episode as if we're not E3.
But it worse. But it was all but we did like the album though. But I feel like my score was just too hard on it. It wasn't reflective of that. So my new score was a 7.5 because I just felt, I just feel like 6.5 was too harsh. It's like, come on now, bro. I gave CLB a 7. I gave Donda a 7. Like, come on now, bro. I guess Religion a 7.5, and I feel like it was a good upgrade.
I like that a lot. I will say, so just for our audio listeners, the original scores were I gave it a 7.5. Avery gave it a 6.5, and like Noah said he gave it a 6.5. So our average was a 6.83, and I always thought that was criminally low for Spillage Village. I agree. I always felt they deserved at least a 7 because it wasn't a bad album.
It wasn't bad.
I do think we may have put too much weight in this idea. Well, I'm not faulting us for putting weight on this concept album because they sort of framed it as a concept album. Like I remember, didn't they tweet? It was like, Religion's all about and they have names word after like gods. Like, they clearly were trying to do something. So I don't get mad at expecting them to kind of deliver on that concept more, but I do think the music was like strong. So I like that.
Yeah. For sure.
So in this ideal world, that 7.5 would put us almost that would be like a 7 point something, I think.
Exactly. Nobody else pointed that one out. I was surprised. Nobody else had that.
Village.
Yeah, as like a regret or like you wanted to change it.
Well, I had a 7.5 and I was comfortable with that score. I'm not sure I would go much higher than that. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I'm still cool with my score.
Damn. Ooh. All right, cool. Avery said, I don't care. I hate it still.
I 6.5 is good. I just like, there's like
6.5 is solid. It's solid.
Like most of the songs didn't stick with me, and a couple did.
Sure.
So.
I feel you.
I forgot I gave this Logic album 7.5, but I haven't listened to it in a long enough time for me to feel comfortable.
I still listen to Perfect off of Logic's album a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I have one that I want to controversially nitpick at, and I know this is going to be something. So I would like to revisit.
Do it.
Oh wait, no. The one I was gonna pick, I'm like, this score wasn't actually as well. Here's an easy one. I want to revisit Certified Lover Boy. Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
he about to get his thing 2.
Here's the thing. I maintain my gripe with Certified Lover Boy. So just for people watching, our 97 demo average is 6.7, and that was Noah and I gave it a 6.5. Avery gave it a 7. I think I was a bit too upset at Drake for not growing and didn't pay enough attention to the quality of the actual music itself. And I'm not mad at myself for that. I still hold all of my gripes. I still think Drake released an album where he played it very, very safe, didn't show that much growth, and I think he could have done more. That being said, once a couple weeks went by and that anger wore off and I started, really kind of sitting with the album, I was like, okay, he may have done the same thing, but he does that same thing pretty well, and for that, I think I would up this score to a 7 if I could go back. Not a huge bump, but I think I gave it a 6.5. I would feel more comfortable giving it a 7, and I would feel more comfortable if our score was probably in the 7 range. I'm not sure if it's going to be a high 7. It could have been a 7.0, but I think a 7, it would more accurately represent this album, which may not be like breathtaking or showcase any, artist development, but it is like a good job at doing what it needed to do, as evidenced by its 7 weeks at number 1. So
Nnamdi, I was this close to putting mine up, but to me that middle part of the album still is too hitting miss for me. So like I was like, oh, I really like this album, but every time I go back, I can't listen to the whole album because that middle part is just so sketchy. So
that's the real complaint. I never listened to the whole thing. I've just been I've been listening to all the R&B songs. I think it may have some of Drake's best R&B work since like Take Care, for being honest. Maybe Scorpion, because he did some good stuff on Scorpion too. Like Get Along Better, Pipe Down, those two alone. We're gonna
I agree. I'm with you.
I agree. I feel like every time I get back to this album, I like find a different song that I really enjoy.
Avery wants to give it a 9 now. I'm not gonna lie, he would give it a 9.
it's Avery album. What do you want from
Avery goes back to every Drake album he does it like, and he's like, oh, actually that joke was kind of fire.
Actually, this thing's a 10, so
he really does. I'll never forget the text I got saying Dark Lane Demo Taste is a 9.
It's good. I said it's good.
It's good.
He said it's good. He said it's good. I stand by that. Okay. I'm gonna throw it back for my first one all the way to our second review.
Oh, I know.
Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, I already know what you're gonna do to this.
I gave it a 9.
Okay.
It got an 8.16 total score.
What was that?
8.5 from Nnamdi, 7 from Noah, and a 9 from me.
Makes sense.
As I look back on this album, it's perfect. I'm giving it a 10. Like, it's so good. Like, it's amazing. Like, I think I was afraid to give it a 10 in the moment, but, you know, just looking back and, like, her song.
It's been over a year.
It's been over a year. It's stuck with me. Every song hits. She's touring it now, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's like just something that they want to see live. She's been killing the TV performances. I think time was only like very kind to this album, and so I'm going up on that.
I'm with you. That was one of the ones I marked down. I gave it a 7. And, you know, ever since then, I've listened to more music. My music palette has changed over the time. Obviously, you guys always give me, you know, slack for it. I've heard this music at a lot of vintage stores over the past year. And this album's really good. And we heard it in Vegas, actually, you know. Fun thing. We heard it, you know, so this album has really stuck with me. So I'm actually going to give it an 8 now. I gave it a 7 originally. I'm going to give it an 8.
Wow.
Because,
this
album... Yo, nah, man, this Phoebe Bridgers is it, man. Like, every time I think of like the albums that I'm listening to, like that are in alternative, I'm like, is this gonna be as good as Phoebe?
That's the bar, right?
That's a measuring stick now. That's a measuring stick now. So yeah, I'm with you, Avery, on Phoebe. That album's great.
I saw someone on Twitter call a Phoebe stand a farb.
Farb?
Like a farb, but with a PH.
I don't know how I feel about that, but it's funny. It's cute.
It's really funny.
And she did the show with the homie Barty, so you know,
shout out Barty.
Yeah,
the homie. So you know what I'm saying. So exactly. So yeah. I'm with you, Avery.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Nnamdi. Go ahead, Nnamdi.
No. So what else go?
Okay, I'll go ahead too.
Okay. Wait. I didn't know where we were in the order. I didn't know. Are we doing an order? I didn't know where we were.
It doesn't really matter. Just go.
I don't know. Okay, yo.
We can bring scores down too, okay? That's for the record. Scores can go down too.
I know, and that's something that I've been really trying to.
I got you.
I want to go down
on. What happens if you like your individual score? You just wish the podcast score was lower.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, because that's.
I got one. I want to go bring down though, but yeah.
I think. Oh no, you go first. So I'm trying to.
Okay, Avery, is there one you're going? I feel like we're on the same wavelength here.
I'm like, I feel bad for going down on the one I'm going.
Oh my God, Avery, if you do what I think you're about to do.
Oh my, I think I know what he's gonna do.
Avery,
no. It won't I don't think it'll make anyone here mad.
Oh,
okay.
Just for my personal and like looking at the, you know, I feel bad.
Okay, go ahead and say it, Avery. Say it.
Her released an album. That was just so unmemorable.
And so long.
Bro, there's like 20 something songs on that album. I do not remember a single one. I could not tell you a song title. I could not, like, I feel bad for how.
She's so nice. She's so talented too.
She's so talented.
I a little more time and direction. That's what she needs. You know.
I feel so bad.
So you know what's surprising about that is considering like she was releasing EPs for forever that were so focused, and then she released this long 20-track album that was like not even all of it. It was just so samey. It wasn't even all over the place. It was like
unremarkable.
Same song. Yeah, I agree.
So it got a 5.9 from the pod. Lauren joined us. She gave it a 6.5. I gave it a 5, and you two gave it a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go down to a 4. Like I can't. I don't remember anything from this album. Like I genuinely do not.
Ouch.
I feel so bad.
I have one that I want to go down on too, in a similar vein, and I've been very stressed about this. Roadrunner Brockhampton. Hear me out. The score right now, I gave it an 8.5. No one ever gave it an 8. The 97 demo average was an 8.1. I remember being so excited about this album because it was Brockhampton's first like really, really good solid album in like a couple of years. They had like 2 that were kind of misses, you know, they went through the whole
they were cool.
Yeah, they went through a whole band reshuffle. I think they were struggling to find their sound. So when they put this out, mind you, it was kind of one of the first big rap albums to come out this year, and we were all sort of desperate for music. I honestly feel like a lot of our reviews in that first half of the year, we were honestly nice because it was like just the fact that we were getting music was like, yes, we'll take it. So I gave it an 8.5, but I think honestly, really considering how often I go back to it or like thereof, and just considering how I honestly felt the day of, as far as like, it's good. I put a lot of weight on the growth aspect. They bounced back. They did it again, as opposed to the actual music. So I think I would alter my score from an 8.5 to honestly an 8, perhaps even a 7.5.
I'm not mad about that.
Just because, I feel like it's a 7.5 album. I think when I look at this thing helps you visualize like, what our scores look like. And when I look at this, it's like this album, I'm not sure it should be in the 8 range.
It's interesting because I would bring it up to an 8.5 because I remember on that review, I was saying like, man, a lot of the boy band poppy stuff I didn't like. But now listening back, I like it even more. Like what's the song?
I know Don't Stop the Party. That's a good one.
Oh, I'll Take You On. Like, I'll take. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff, man. Like, I give it an 8.5.
I remember how good the songwriting on that album is.
But the thing is, Avery, you like the boy band stuff, like all the poppy stuff you liked. Yeah, I did. I was like, I don't like it, but I like it more.
I remember just liking the album. I do feel like I liked the album. It's just I'm not sure I liked it enough to give it an 8.5.
For sure,
I think I was just excited that we got a new rap album.
And it kind of sucks because I have kind of forgotten it because like so many great albums have come out since, and like at that time it was like one of my best. Actually, it was one of my favorite albums of the year. It was in my mid-year, and it's tough. It's tough to since all these good albums have come. But another one, since we're going down to on scores, I got one. And this album was already bad. We already didn't like it that much, but I'm gonna go down even more. And then I'm gonna transition to an album. I'll just get to it. So
hit us with it.
Featuring Ty Dolla $ign.
Okay, and you're going lower on it?
It's okay. I'm about to connect it to another album.
Okay.
So featuring Ty Dolla $ign, I originally gave it, let me make sure I'm right I gave it a 4.5. We gave it a score of 4.66. It's already pretty low. That's already like failing pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. But the album is long as I'll get out, and it's like only 3 songs I like.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's only 3 songs I like.
I think I have 2 I like.
So
this is so
so I'm gonna give it I gave it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It was too long. It was bad.
Y'all, okay, but I was considering putting this up a little bit because I think we be too mean to Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh no, there's a thing though. Let me connect it though. We can talk about these 2 albums because these like
Universe. You think an album with Universe on it deserves to be that low?
Okay, that's a great song, but listen to the other 20. Okay, but I'm saying I'm gonna connect to this other one. This is the other one that we gave like one of the lowest scores to.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion, Good News.
Mm-hmm.
I was too hard. I gave it a 3. I was too hard. No, Megan did not deserve that. I was too hard. I was too hard.
She did not deserve a 3.
Okay,
she didn't deserve a 3. She didn't deserve a 3. Now it's still not great, but I think that deserves a bump up to like a 4.5. I'm gonna say 5.
Like that. Okay.
4.5 because like one of the things that we did was like, man, a lot of the songs that are the best ones on here she already released. But I was like, that's not fair. It's on the album, singles. People do that.
And if we're being honest, Noah, I think in this one, Sydney went for, like earlier before us. And I think because she was so high, like, we need to average this out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that shouldn't be like a part of the decision making. But that's the one thing when we have guests that I do think we have to reconsider how that score factors in, because sometimes it's like you don't so get how like, seriously we take these numbers. Like, you just like
for sure. Shout out to Alex.
That's that's how I feel about Isaiah Rashad. But I can't, I like my score. I just don't think a 10 should have been thrown in the mix.
Yeah. So I gave it a 5 for Megan. I would give her up to 5, 2 points up. Still not a great album. Still a lot of work to be done on the album. A lot of misses, a lot of fillers on there. But still,
the first couple songs are so good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first couple.
New? Why did she not make that a single?
No, I'm saying, look at this. The songs that are
like
good.
Shots Fired is
and Circles. So good. Why was it Circles not a single? Oh my gosh,
it fell through halfway because she didn't. It's so weird. Meg raps and she makes it seem so like easy, but for some reason that album feels like she just halfway through. She's like, we don't have anything. Like,
and also another one, the song with Popcan.
That was foul.
That was intercourse. Literally called intercourse.
That's a foul song.
That's a foul song. And I remember I was defending because I was like, man, I just need something different on the album. But I'm with you guys. The song's terrible. That's a disgusting song. That's a disgusting song.
It's an explicit song.
That's a song
I would listen
and y'all
to.
Loki, even Crybaby, was that really a great song? Like, come on.
No, I never.
I don't think we have to worry about Make Us Stallion collaborating with DaBaby anymore.
Yeah, we don't. God. That didn't age well. So, but Megan's still not a great album. Still a lot of work to be done, but not as bad as I made it seem. So, that's another one.
I have another one.
Go ahead.
Y'all know I love my girl Ella O'Connor, aka Lord. That's her name, right?
Oh, I was just about to mention this one. I was just about to bring this one up.
Oh, you're about to bring it up?
I was gonna bring it up.
Wow.
Avery, you go first, because let me think. Let me just think. I go back and forth on this a lot.
I think for me, it's about like removing my expectations from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think. I think your expectations are too high.
Removing like the hype I had for Solar Power by Lord.
Yeah.
And so I gave it a 6.5, and so did Nnamdi, and Noah gave it a 5.5. So we averaged out to a 6. Honestly, I'd go up a point. I go up to 7.5 because
that's fair.
Like going back, like I like this album, and I think just like divorcing myself from whatever expectations I had, because Lord is one of my favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
That like I can still recognize that this, is not her best work, but at the same time, like I still think it's pretty good. So
I really struggled to decide if I was going to go down to a 6 or up to a 7, which is really funny. The down to a 6 was more so kind of what you said, not even with the expectation, just with the final product, how I felt about the final product. It not really, not really understanding Solar Power, it not really feeling it not hitting the way she sold it as sort of like this weed album that you can it didn't hit like that. And there just not being that many songs to go back to. Every once in a while, you'll hear me listening to some of these songs, whether it's Solar Power or Mood Ring or California, which is why in the same breath, I've considered going up to a 7, because there are some songs in here that I think are really, really good. And just for their, for how good they are, the highs on this album warrant something higher. So I don't know if I would go. That's why I'm like, maybe I should just live with the 6.5. I think honestly, I think that's what about me. I just talked myself into. I think I'm really fine with giving this a 6.5 because, yeah, we're just gonna. So yeah.
Got you. Now, Nnamdi. Now I got one that I know you're gonna go up on, and I feel like you're gonna agree with me on. Okay. It's an obvious one. Okay. The off season, J. Cole. That review has a lot of technical difficulties because the Wi-Fi. You can barely hear what we're saying.
We're gonna take it down.
That's gonna. But nonetheless, we gave that album overall a 7.3. Nnamdi gave it a 7.5. I gave it a 7.5. Avery gave it a 7. Good scores. But I don't know. We were kind of unfair to him just because you were like, dude, J. Cole, you're the same. You're doing the same stuff. But like, dude, it's just so solid. I'm so solid. Like, there's only 2 tracks that like I kind of don't like, honestly. But like, that's it. Like, everything else is super solid. He's rapping so well on the whole album, dude. Well. Like, 95 South is one of the hardest tracks released this year, dude. And it came from J. Cole, the dude who we say we fall asleep to. So I gave it a 7.5, and I'm bringing it up to an 8 because like it's just super solid. Super
Hunger
solid.
on the Hillside. I love so much.
Yeah, dude. It's like he's rapping so well, dude. Like, man, and like even Hold My Hand, like, oh, that's like such a good song. Like, he's still getting personal with it. Like, even though J. Cole might not be changing his sound totally, he's talking about new stuff like his marriage, his son, like all this stuff. Like, yeah, man, 8 for me.
I love that. This is one I really wanted to come in and immediately be like, oh, I'm taking this higher. But I feel like a lot of these, I like my scores because the reasoning I use, I remember, Yeah, and I remember with the off season, I was like, y'all know I love J. Cole and I love this album and I think he's rapping and killing it. Similar to what I gave Drake, I just think you needed to do more. I don't know what that more looks like, and maybe it is just an expectation issue, but I do think that matters for these scores. It's weird. I don't know. When you guys review albums, do you think it should solely be on this album alone and that's it, no other context nuances, or is it fair to say I'm considering your past work in this?
I think it's gonna happen either way, and I can bring up like another album probably the last one I feel like really strongly about, where I can like kind of factor that in.
I wonder if you're gonna say the same one I'm gonna say, because there's one more. What is
I think it is the same one. It's Positions by Ariana Grande.
Yes, okay,
like,
it is.
At the time, for whatever reason, I didn't think it held, like, it wasn't as good as her previous two, you know, Sweetener and what's the other one called? Thank You Next. But now, like, going back, I think it's just as good as those three, and I think she released like that 3-album stretch of pop albums is like damn near legendary. Like, it's good,
and the way she ended it too. That album.
Yes, yeah, it's incredible. And on Positions, she's trying these different sounds. Like, she's incorporating these cool, like, there's some 90s sounds in there. There's like a song where she's using a tape like rewind sound through it, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
The songwriting's really good. Like, I think those 3 albums, you know, obviously she lives a very public lifestyle. Like, you know, we know a lot about what happened with her personally over those few years. And it's very much reflected in this 3-album stretch that is just like, I honestly think like classic pop music. So my Positions, I gave it a 7. I honestly think I go up to like an 8.5. I guess that good.
Yeah, Avery, I'm definitely gonna tap into that too. I think with Positions, I vividly remember in this score, part of my sentiment of that review was just general frustration at how similar it was to Thank You Next. But Thank You Next is a great album. You know, like that was an amazing pop album. And even though this was similar, it still did kind of veer more R&B a little bit more confidently than Thank You Next did, and she just did it well, you know. So I gave it a 7.5. I would easily give that an 8 easily. Just because there's so many songs that we don't even talk about from that album that are great. Namely Love Language, My Hair, West Side, which I remember not liking,
My Hair is
now liking.
West Side was so good.
I remember doing a review being like, West Side's a skip, and now I'm like, what am I talking about?
You know, like POV.
That I knew.
That's Doc songs.
That's one of the best pop songs. Period.
One of the things I remember like being a source of like a disagreement was like the single Positions. And Nnamdi were like, I don't know if that song was banging enough. Like, it didn't hit the same. Like, oh my gosh, the single.
I think I was like, this has been the lead single.
Yeah, but you know, I agree with you. Even though I think I was like the one most positive, even though our scores were around the same, I feel like I was the one being the most positive because
you definitely were. You guys
had a longer history of like listening to Ariana Grande, understanding her music, you know, expectations. I was like, you know what, I know who Ariana Grande is, but I was like, man, let me just listen to this, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm with you guys, man. That album's really good. I still have songs in there that I still listen to, so I'm with you guys.
And you know, guys, there's one more I have to bring down that I've been literally the entire thing I've been stressed about, but I'm just going to be honest and speak my truth.
Do it.
Respect that.
I already know what it is.
Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler. It's not Isaiah Rashad. I know. Hear me out, guys. I know. I think you're going
to do Isaiah Rashad.
That's I'm not doing a huge change. I just think, if I'm being honest, the truth is that score was because Tyler came out with, honestly, the first like amazing rap album of the year, right? And he put it out, and it almost like sucker punched you, I feel, because it just was so, compared to everything we'd gotten up until that point, I just think it was almost euphoric during that review. And I think when I really consider how it's aged and how often I revisit the entire thing, I would give it an 8.5. I wouldn't give it a 9. I think 9s and 10s are so rare. I don't even think I know what a 10 looks like when I try to envision it in my brain. I think there's only like 2 albums that I think are there for me. So it's like a 9 is the closest thing you're going to get from me. And it has to be something that I love for me to give it a 9. I don't feel that way. I'm not going to lie about it. So I would give Tyler 8.5. Isaiah, I'm not touching because I think that 8 is fair. Like
Can I give my Isaiah Rashad review?
He just want to spite me. Hey,
you guys were talking about bringing down the average, so I can do that.
True. Go ahead.
Oh, Loki. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting Isaiah Rashad. I was not on the review. I was not present.
Life stuff,
but if I were to contract, yes, I wanted a higher pay. I was holding out. If I was to give Isaiah Rashad a review, I would give it a 6.5.
Okay,
that's fair.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say like 5. I was like, bruh.
Honestly,
because I'm not mean.
Because of the concert, I don't really know if I could change. Like, there's
that's fair.
There's a memory with it now.
Like, that's it's kind of hard to do something with that.
And he's had like great, like music videos with it, like the title track. He had a music video for that. And I was like, wow, I did not love that song as much as I did, and now I'm like in love with it. Like, I'm with you, and Nnamdi, I'm kind of with you with Call Me If You Get Lost. Like, I don't know, man. Like, unbiasedly, like looking at it, there's not a bad song on there, but like personally, I don't go back to it as much. So like, I'm kind of with you, like 8.5, but it's just like there's not a bad song on there. So like, I can't like
I can acknowledge that it's an amazingly well put together album. I just think,
for sure. Personally,
I just think a 9 has to be something that's so amazing that you instantly go back without pride. It has to be able to balance the like cohesiveness and creativeness of a Tyler with the listenability isn't a word. What am I trying to say? With the like, but as digestible as like a Drake. Like I want to go back to it as like a Drake album, but it's an amazing like a Tyler album. If you can combine that, that's your 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And for Tyler, like I have, and why I would stick with mine is like I have gone back to it that many times. I'd say the only song I really skip on the album is Wilshire, just because it's really long and like samey throughout the whole thing. And
but that song is still incredible. It's still
he's still like,
it's like whenever I go back, I'm reminded, okay, this is a good album, a great album. But
for sure, I'm with you.
You know,
I'm with you.
I only have one more score I'm changing, and I saved it last for a reason. James Blake, Friends That Break Your Heart, I gave it an 8. Noah gave it a 7.5. Avery gave it an 8. Our 97 Dumb average was 7.6. I would give this an 8.5 because I think this is probably one of the best like indie pop, whatever you want to call it, albums this year. I love it. Avery knows by firsthand how much I listen to it. And I remember the reason I didn't do it is because I was like, but what would I do with Assume Form? I honestly may give this and Assume Form the same score and not feel bad. So if I gave both this and Assume Form an 8.5, I'd feel fairly comfortable with that. Just because with Assume Form, there were highs that I loved, but there was more skips for me on Assume Form than there were on Friends That Break Your Heart. Like I don't think
Friends That Break Your Heart is more consistent for you.
More consistent. I don't think I have any skips on Friends That Break Your Heart, but if I'm listening to Assume Form, there are some songs that I would like occasionally like skip.
You know what also made the album better? I'm sorry, this is a small thing. The fact that Monica Martin's black.
Right? No, that's real.
That made me like the album even more because I was like, who's his voice? I was like, but this black woman on the James Blake album made me love it even more.
She killed it.
Does anyone have any other things, albums they want to call out?
Honestly, like, first of all, this is an exercise of going back and like listening to like old reviews, which were kind of cringeworthy listening back. But honestly, a lot of the scores I feel like we're pretty fair about. Like some of the ones that like we hated, went super low. Yeah. But like I feel like we're pretty fair with reviews, guys. Like we really try to just be fair. I don't think we say anything that's like just a hate. Like even Nnamdi was like CLB, he was considered a hater and he still gave it like a solid score. Like like even though like
very positive.
Like even though like
justice.
Yeah, I agree. Like, oh yeah, that's it.
I honestly want to go lower, but I didn't want to.
Quite positive.
The fact that you like the music on there, but the message behind it. But I understand.
I just can't.
You can't. You're
not
heart
getting
of
more
hearts.
than that from me.
But like,
I'm
even
still
like,
mad at the world for not getting mad at him for that.
Yeah, I agree. But like, even though we give like a 6.5, 6, that's not even. I don't consider that a bad score. Honestly, I don't consider that a bad score. Like even that's a 60%, whatever you want to do, like a D, and school terms.
I think most albums are probably a 6 or a 7, and that's fine. Like I feel like your average album, that's an average album.
That's an average album. That's not bad at all. So I'm with you.
That's one thing I love about this spreadsheet is how it reflects that. And I will say, to your point, Noah, it's worth pointing out that even the scores we did change, they were all marginal changes that probably wouldn't do that much to our average anyway.
I agree.
Right. And I think that goes to show that our reviews are good. We're confident in them.
I'm confident. I agree.
This was fun. I like this is a really fun. I don't think I've had that much like fun in an episode in a minute.
We didn't even mention the ones where like we discussed albums like remember Childish Gambino 315. That album still frustrates me a lot.
Still, I don't go back to it ever.
It's so frustrating.
I like to just imagine he had to do that to get around like the label contract loophole because I don't know why
so
the hell else he would have.
And he said that was gonna be his last album with Childish Gambino. I hope it's not because that would hurt me.
That is
it's been radio silent since that came out.
Yeah. Working on Atlanta.
Okay, we're getting Atlanta.
Atlanta, exactly. Okay, guys. New releases. A lot of projects coming out.
A lot of
EPs.
There was more.
Like there was more. This Big Sean EP. What
liked
you
it.
expect?
Well, let's start.
That's good. That's good.
A lot of people are mean to Big Sean. I don't understand why.
Well,
I used to be one of them. So,
but ever since Detroit, he's been just killing it. Like. Detroit was like I'm kind of mad we didn't review that because like it felt like we did, but like that album was really good. The only thing that knocked against that album was like it was too long. It was too long, but like he cut down a few songs.
Big Sean and Hit Boy are really good together. Like Hit
Boy's killing it.
They work together really well. And like I think back to that like Freddie Gibbs Big Sean song.
Oh, that was going.
You know, that's Hit Boy produced.
Avery got a shirt just because of the song.
I did get a shirt just because of that song. Like it's a great song. I think Hit Boy and Big Sean. I would love to see them work on something longer together than just like a 5-track EP.
Same. We also had Live Long ASAP re-release came out. Mick Jenkins' album came out. Reason put out an EP. Meg Thee Stallion put out. Was this an EP? I don't know if it's an album.
It's an album.
It's like a mixtape album.
A mixtape,
yeah.
It's got a bunch of unreleased.
This isn't a studio album though. This is like a
not a studio
tape type.
No, it's like freestyles and
okay.
Yeah.
And then Ed Sheeran put out Shivers. So that's our pop album this week. So did you guys listen to any of this? If so, Avery, did you like What You Expect? Anything else?
The Mick Jenkins album gave me Isaiah Rashad vibes just because like it was super vibey, super chill, super like bouncy type thing, you know? So Mick Jenkins is one of the ones that, you know, a lot of people in Mizzou love. He's from Chicago. He came to Mizzou one year. But this album's really solid, really chill. A$AP Rocky, obviously, I'm a big fan.
I listened to this for the first time.
The mixtape? It's honestly some of his worst work, honestly.
Wait,
but it's still good.
I liked it.
It's a no to me. I'm saying that's just a testament. I still love it. I'm saying it's just a testament how much he's grown because like I think every project he's gotten better and better. But this I still love this mixtape a lot. Like
wait,
you know what song I really like
because I became Live Long ASAP.
Live Love ASAP.
Live Love. Oh, I've been so confused this whole week because I was like, Long Live ASAP has been on streaming. What are people talking about? And I just can't read. Yikes.
Yeah, no, you know what song I really liked?
What?
I liked Houston Old Head a lot.
Oh yeah, man. This is
that was great.
This is A$AP is like a New York guy that wants to sound like he's from Texas, but
when did he record this? When did he record this?
2011, dude. 2011. Long time ago. A$AP's been out for a long time ago. That just shows like all these artists that we love, like A$AP, you know, they've been out for a long time now, so veterans in the game. And also the reason EP I liked because Isaiah Rashad had 2 verses on there, and Benny was on there too.
You almost met Benny.
Almost. We don't talk about that, but yeah.
Did anyone listen to anything off of the Meg Thee Stallion re-release?
No, not yet. I want to.
I listened to one freestyle. It was cool. The cover was cool. She was kind of like
a was cool too.
Thing.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran put out a pop album. Is this a pop album? It's just, you know, it's
anyone know? Did we? What happened on SNL last night? Does anyone know?
Who replaced him?
Ed Sheeran was supposed to perform on SNL last night, but he got COVID.
Yeah.
You know, we have to give him the same smoke we gave Morgan Wallen. Is that what happened to Morgan Wallen?
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen's a racist.
So. Hey, he donated money to some orgs.
Hey, stop it. That changes everything.
I have no idea what SNL did.
I was surprised. I really enjoyed this Imagine Dragon Enemy featuring Jid. Jid does these like kind of collabs, and I love every single one. He's done, I'm pretty sure, a Coldplay one. Was it Coldplay I'm thinking of?
He did do Coldplay, I think he did do Coldplay.
Like he's done like collabs with like rock groups or pop groups, and every one I think hit. So I hope he keeps that up.
We need the album, bro.
We do need that.
Kendrick did his Imagine Dragons crossover.
Remember he did at the Grammy. Remember he did some at the Grammys. That was amazing. Yeah.
Did you guys see Flo Melly put out Ice Baby? But the real talker of that is how the social media presentation of that was, or like the music video. She recreated that infamous like Flavor of Love 2 scene with New York.
Yeah, that was funny.
You've probably seen the meme where New York is walking away like, do this look like I give? Because I don't. Do I look, you know?
That was good. That was good with Buddy on it. Yeah, Buddy's like the guy that's just like guy in music videos. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Flo Milli. Like,
I like the way I was saying.
She's super entertaining. She's super entertaining.
I was saying to Nnamdi, I like how like when she raps, you can hear literally everything she says.
She has some of my favorite delivery.
That's another thing that's like underrated about rappers, like when you can understand everything they're saying. That's why I feel like Drake is so popular, because like he's so easy to remember. You know everything he's pretty much saying. Like Flo Milli can do that, and she's like rapping, she's flowing well too. So
yeah, she's got such a unique voice. I like it.
I agree. I think she's from Alabama. That's dope. Anybody else, guys? Anybody else? Emine, Charmander. Anybody Pokemon fans? I am. But
I listened to that. I listened to that song. It was cool.
Song's cool.
Young Miami from City Girls put out a song called Rap Freaks, where she made very vulgar remarks about like some women in the rap industry. So, you know,
a lot of people feel the type of way. She had a
funny line on there that Meg Thee Stallion was laughing at.
Buenos noches.
Buenos noches.
Mine was with roaches and.
I wonder if Young put in his face like roaches, making go to sleep with noches. Sorry, that is funny.
That's so good. That's so good.
It was funny.
All right, well, this is fun. Let's run through Billboard highlights for this week. I want to talk about Hot 100 this week. What did I do? Oh my God! Every time. Okay,
just go ahead.
I'm gonna do both. Hold on. Let me figure out.
Okay, so Hot 100. We also know who's
hey.
But this number one doesn't need any introduction. Like we already knew who's gonna be number one.
Do it.
Easy on Me, Adele. She, you know what's so crazy? We all knew she was gonna be number one. The part that was more impressive was like she got in the top 100 on one day of releasing. Like she released on a Wednesday. By the next day, she was like 67,
68. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, on one day. That was last week. One day. She was out for one day.
6 hours. It was 6 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours. Oh.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So Adele's gonna release a banger of album. Yeah, the album's gonna sell 10 million in 1 week. It probably will. I'm not gonna lie. It might actually.
I bet we get another single like next week or the week after.
Yeah. You think she'll do one more, or she thinks she just put out the album?
I think she'll do one more single.
Did she do that with 25? Because I feel like she just put out the one song and then album, but I don't know. Okay.
The other thing to talk about with Adele on this is Hot 100. The other thing to talk about on the Hot 100 this week that's kind of crazy is Young Thug Punk. This was its like debut week and it charted 5 songs. The highest of which was number 20. I think it was Bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys listen? Do y'all listen to that song? Did you like it? Were you a fan?
I listened to Bubbly. It was cool.
Bubbly was good. Bubbly was fine.
I listened to that song. That one.
Bubbly's just a funny name.
J. Cole was on it too. I listened to that song.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I think that charted on. That's one of the ones that charted on here as well.
Everybody's been that artwork that it's inspired by has been just all over the place.
Look.
So
that's a song. What is going on with this?
I'll explain it later. We don't have to get into it.
But why is it a song too? This Let's Go,
song.
If anyone's watching that says Let's Go, Brandon, just know we know what you mean. We know what you're saying.
Wait, I'm confused.
I'll explain it.
Not for the pod. I need my job. We'll wait.
Oh, okay. Inappropriate.
Okay, and then over on the Billboard 200, Noah, thank you for doing the Hot 100 as eloquently as you did.
Thanks, pal.
Over on the Billboard 200, all I really want to point out is one, Young Thug's Punk debuted and broke the hierarchy that was Drake's CLB rule. And also Faces by Mac Miller debuted at number 3. This is interesting. The bulk of it was vinyl sales. It sold 32,000 vinyls first week. And that's actually the record for most vinyl sales for a rap album since they started monitoring or tracking that.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, you did that.
I tried to buy some merch and the merch was super expensive, but I was like, let me see if I can get something. The hoodie was sold out. All the hoodies were sold out. So I was like, let me get a vinyl. I was about to check out. I was like, oh, we're out. So didn't get the vinyl.
Yeah. But I mean, I also think it goes to show how like in the changing music industry, like vinyls that's your physical format. You need to make sure that's ready the weekest sales because that will bump your sales up a lot. You know, I think he sold like 34K first week, and of that, 32K were vinyls. Like that's vinyls. Insane, you know.
Good for Mac.
Also worth noting that this top 5 is one of the few weeks where we have a top 5 that isn't the same. We had Let It Be, the soundtrack for the Beatles, that re-entered at number 5. Don't know why. I'm wondering if that was re-released for some reason. Maybe there was a vinyl, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Music of the Spheres by Coldplay came in at number 4. In the UK, it came in at number 1, but I guess they're just not as big. They had that BTS song, yes, right?
There's a BTS song. There's a Selena Gomez song on there.
A lot of poppy people.
Okay. A lot of poppy people. And I think that's really and Adele's albums are back in the top 30 because people are anticipating 25. So you now have 30. So you now have 25 that's at number 16. 21 is I think at like in third 26. So people are that excited about Adele that they can't handle themselves. They're listening to her old stuff. I'm sure 19 is somewhere on this list too, but I don't know. It's somewhere there.
Favorite Adele album, 21 or 19? Which one? It's between those
25. Oh, don't do 25 like that.
I love 25, but 21 and 19 are like
I'm not gonna lie, 25 maybe my favorite is because that's the one where like 21 of course has Rolling in the Dark and Rolling in the Deep and some, Someone Like You, but 25 is the one that I know every song off of. So
really,
I feel like 21's one of those albums. Like I talked about this with Billy Joel a few months ago, where it's like I looked back at The Stranger by Billy Joel and I was like, oh my god, all his hits are on this album. Where I was just like, it's just hit after hit. And I feel like 21's kind of like that for Adele.
That is that
I know,
too. Yeah.
I know 21 just has all the hits, but like 19, I'm not gonna lie, like I love some of those songs on there too. Like,
wow, we're all very balanced Adele fans here.
No, but that song, I cried to that song. No lie, I cried. I cried.
Nah, don't be doing that, man.
She do that to you, but yeah.
All right, that was fun. By the time this episode comes out tomorrow, the update will be the Drake streak will continue. He was apparently expected to go back to number one.
What the?
That will be, I think, his 6th, 7th.
What is this?
Morgan Wallen's a double album expected to go in at number 2. We have Doja Cat Planet 3 at number 3. I believe it's a toss-up between Doja Cat and Morgan Wallen. Like she may, like I think that's what may be off.
Stream Doja, stream Planet Her, stream.
We don't gotta tell them to stream Morgan Wallen. They're already doing Morgan Wallen. So
No, I'm saying like get Doja to 2.
I honestly think that people are streaming him again because the AMAs uninvited him despite nominating him, which I felt is just so performative.
And fans are like, we're gonna stream now.
But can I just say, I'm not defending Morgan Wallen. We've talked about him all year, but it is slightly performative when you're like, we're not inviting him to the ceremony, but we are gonna let him get nominated and potentially win.
Right. Oh, of course it is.
That's what
Of course.
Now you're still benefiting from his face and his music and his likeness, but you're kind of slapping him in the face, but you can't come inside. I don't like that. It gives off Drake's letting R. Kelly be that sample on TSU. That I don't know why, but that's the vibe I'm getting from it. Because you're still just as bad. Complicity is not okay.
Speaking of Drake.
Speaking of Drake, so this is just, I realized I needed a project of the week, so I just went with what I've been listening to a lot, and it was CLB. If we don't have Pipe Down or Get Along Better or, what song I like way more on this? Is it You Only Live Twice? Is that what it's called? The Rick Ross?
Yes.
Oh, that song's great, dude.
So I know, but I vividly remember doing that review saying, oh, well, I like their other collabs better. And now I don't think that's true. I like that song a lot. I've been going to that a lot. 7 a.m. on Bridal Path.
Oh, that's
I kind of came at that hard. It was good, fine. No Friends in the Industry. I know.
I mean, Race My Mind's a classic. You know what I mean?
That one just has it.
God, Race My Mind is my song.
That's Avery's favorite. He cries to that.
Yebba's Heartbreak. Oh my God, Knife Talk. How am I not saying Knife Talk?
Oh, Knife Talk.
I'll be in the shower like.
That's your shower song?
It's getting offy outside. I don't even know what that means, but it hits though.
When Drake comes in, it's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're only going to see more songs from that on the playlist if we don't already have all of them on, which is very possible we will. So we'll see.
Mine is Wave the World by Maxo Cream. Now, one of my, co-hosts love this album. Another one is a little disappointed by it, but we're not gonna get into that. Max Cream did it again, bro.
He did it again.
He did it again. This album is so freaking good.
Good.
This album is so freaking good. Like, I don't even know what to say, dude. Like, he's so like, the knock is like, he's not an incredible rapper. He's not incredible, like, wordsmith, but like, he's just so punchy. I don't know how to say it. Like, he's just so, as a matter of fact, type guy.
The whole product is just so good,
Yeah, and he's just like, and it's interesting because like his early mixtapes, he's like not personal. He's like being ignorant, talking about like just rap, drugs, but like he's so personal now. Like, I don't know. I just love this album a lot, dude. Like,
especially these last two.
Oh man, these last two, he's just been so personal and so it hits so hard. Like Christian, Nnamdi has a problem with it. That amazing. They Say amazing. Big Persona with Tyler, of course.
Oh,
great.
That song is just unreal.
And I gotta be honest, the second half to me is incredible. From Whole Lotta, Worthless, Green and Knots, Mama's Purse to Trips. Oh my gosh.
Trips is amazing.
Trips is incredible, dude. Like, man, I love this song.
You know what song I love too on there too is the
ASAP song.
Oh, your least favorite song.
That's probably my least favorite, but it's still a good song. I think Maxo Cream came with the gym, honestly. I really think he did. And
Good guy.
Good guy. Good guy. Good guy. Yeah, Max Green, Weight of the World. Great album. Yeah, I love it. Also, the track with Cece Monoleo. How do you say her name?
I have no idea.
She killed it too. Yeah, she killed it too. So yeah.
Avery?
Mine is personal favorite artist of mine. Outer Peace by Toro y Moi.
It's so fancy in the name.
It's French.
Was
it's actually moi. It's French.
Toro y Moi.
I don't know if he is French.
No.
It's one guy. His name's Chaz Berry. He has like 3 or 4 different personas, basically. But he like, I don't want to say he invented, but he very much like popularized and like built off of chill wave music, and that's like his thing. Anyways, he just announced last week that he's coming out with a new album next year, and it's going to be on Dead Oceans. He's leaving his other label, which Dead Oceans is the label that Phoebe Bridgers is on and all them.
Dope.
And he's great. And so this is his last album that came out in 2019. I forgot how much I loved this album, whether it was New House or like Monte Carlo's a banger. Yeah, I love Outer Peace. Very good.
Dope.
Okay, well, you'll find all of that on our playlist. I think this is actually going to be the last week of the October demos. So if you want to reflect on what some of your favorite October songs were, you can find that on our playlist. We'll be starting the November demo next week. And we'll also be doing, I think it'll be the return of our 97 demo profile series. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
For sure. Newsletter's coming back. We're going to be going back.
We appreciate you guys letting us have that week off, but we'll come back with something even better. You just wait. And yeah, I appreciate you guys listening to this episode. Like, share, subscribe per usual.
Appreciate the people, commenting on like our stories, like, hey, this is cool, stuff like that. Like, I've got a couple of those. Yeah, because people have got them individually. Like, I got some on Instagram because I post mine on Instagram. People are like, yeah, I read it, was cool. So yeah, man. Appreciate people reading the newsletter because that's something we always wanted to do, and I'm glad people are liking it.
Exactly. All for the growth of the 97 demo. We love it. With that being said, we will see y'all next week.